Hey everyone, it's Michelle again. I am here for week 3 and I have invited Pastor D. She is, oh, I sent her an invitation already. You know I'm new at this. She actually has been teaching the 30-day prayer challenge that I have been, um, let's see if this is going to, hey Tracy. Hey lady, how are you?
Hey there.
Hey, I can't see your face. Oh, there it is.
There
There it is.
it is. There it is.
I was
Oops,
gonna
there
talk
it
about
is.
you.
Oops.
Right, right. How are you?
I am blessed. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. I was just telling everybody they always bear with me every week because I'm tech not savvy. Not tech savvy, but tech not savvy.
I know that's right.
So, hey, Greg, how are you?
What's happening,
I
Greg?
am actually I wanted to have you on here every week. I have been coming to really talk about prayer.
Uh-huh.
And last week I talked to my friend Charlotte and we started talking about, just the woman,
Mm-hmm.
what it means to be a woman, what it
Mm-hmm.
means. And we were talking about prayer because she's Muslim and she's going through Ramadan. And I told her I was on the prayer challenge and I'm
Mm-hmm.
going through praying as well. We just prayed this morning at 5 o'clock in the morning with women from all over the
Yes.
nation, really.
Yes. Yes.
And we've been doing that for the last couple of weeks in your prayer challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Hey,
Laverne.
Laverne. Hey,
And
Lavon. That's my cousin on there. Okay, go ahead.
that's your
Okay, go
cousin.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead.
hey, Charlotte. So I wanted to have you come on because I've been talking about you, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I started off the first week and I was talking about my Aunt Florine. And I was really giving them my history as it
Mm-hmm.
related to prayer
Mm-hmm.
and how I watched my Aunt Florine really, 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 really take care of me
Mm-hmm.
through prayer and how
Mm-hmm.
her prayers, and she's now an ancestor, but how her prayers really kept me through. And I'm 47, and I really believe that her prayers are still keeping me
Correct.
afloat.
Correct.
And not only me, but my daughter. So she not
Correct.
only prayed for me, but she prayed for my daughter and my daughter's daughter, who's yet to be here, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Yes.
And so I wanted everyone to really just understand the history of prayer,
Okay.
understand that we have a wonderful lineage. We have a
Mm-hmm.
wonderful, we come from good stock. We come from excellent
Mm-hmm.
stock.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that a lot of us, especially Gen Xers, and I
Mm-hmm.
challenge the Gen Xers,
Mm-hmm.
we have to really get back into prayer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And just hearing you, praying with you every day, we talk about the travail, you moan, you do a lot of things that I saw on Florine do. You do a lot of things that historically we had prayer in the homes, which a lot of us don't have anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I pray in the house. My daughter hears me well, and my daughter hears me going in, but that's not all common
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because we've become dignified in our new society, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted you to chime in. This is when women talk, and we just so happen to be talking about prayer.
I was just thinking about I was just thinking about one of the times I was over your house and we just end up praying and going in, and especially myself, and your daughter said, Ma, is Pastor D okay? You remember
Yeah.
that? You know,
Yes,
but I didn't,
yes,
when you
yes.
was talking, it just brought that back, and it was just funny because I was like, yeah, baby, I'm okay or whatever. But that's history. That's
Mm-hmm.
history. Uh, she might not understand it, but she will never forget it.
She'll never forget
She'll
it.
never forget it.
And I, And I'm going to tell you one thing, since I have been praying, even before the prayer challenge, I'm in your coaching program, spiritual
Hmm.
development.
Hmm.
And I remember there was a point in time when I wouldn't even open up my mouth to
Hmm.
God.
Hmm.
Seriously.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would not raise my hand. I didn't really know who Jesus was until I was like 39-ish. I'm being real.
No, how do I
Even
remember
though
you saying?
I've been in church, I had pastors, but to really know him. Now, of course,
Hmm.
everybody know his name.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's the first thing that you
Hmm.
learn, even
Hmm.
out the womb. Everybody like,
Hmm.
oh, Jesus, she's so
Hmm.
beautiful. You're
Hmm.
like, who is
Hmm.
this Jesus? So
Right.
you know it, but to really know him, I didn't know it till like 39, 40-ish. But my daughter, because she has seen you pray, she has listened to me pray, she has actually gotten better in her relationship. I'm not going
Hmm.
to say she's become a better prayer, but she's now opening her mouth. She wouldn't even open her mouth
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
in prayer.
yeah, yeah,
But because she's seen it,
yeah.
and this is her living out history.
Hmm.
This is something that she's going to remember. This is something that she's going to give to her children. unconsciously is doing something on the inside
Yeah,
of her.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
that's what
yeah,
the
yeah,
women of
yeah,
old did for
yeah,
us.
yeah,
It did something on the inside of
yeah,
us.
yeah,
Now you
yeah.
have a different story because the women in your life actually put you on the altar and made you travail and pray. We ain't.
Well, they just told us to stay right there and don't move. Just stay
Right.
there. And we had a high level of obedience and regard for the elders, okay, at the era of time, and we have lost that as well. You know, we have lost the history of the regards of when our elders or our ancestors speak. You see what I'm saying? That we
Yes.
did not give rebuttal. We did not, oh, I got this. And I was talking to a couple of my spiritual daughters was over here last night, and we got up early this morning. She was talking and sharing her heart after prayer this morning. And I was telling her and giving her some spiritual instructions of how she really has to pray for XYZ, and she has to really go in. But not only that, why she has been positioned in her life in this area of time as it relates to her children. So I was saying that and because I was telling her, God is taking us as women, that he wants to stabilize us, not the fact that we have a degree or we have our nice houses and things like that. We have made various much strides off of the back of our ancestors. We have
Yes, we
come
have.
up, you know, but we have lost the art. And I said, so just because you are now in transition and you have God have favored you with a new home, know that that home is your atmosphere, that you can set in order the standards for your life and your legacy through the prayer and travail for your children. I said, and so we got to talking about that, how our grandmothers, you know, one of the other young ladies, how grandmothers used to be in the kitchen, and we would be, and they would be cooking, and the grandsons and the children would get delivered from drugs and things like that because it was their wailing in the home. It wasn't just their wailing when they went to church. It wasn't because I had to get on an empowerment prayer call. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that, but we cannot get so charismatic in the things of God that we lose the essence. And a lot of women have lost the art of just being in their home. You know, I know many, excuse me, Michelle, Gen X's, baby boomers, all that they can't even clean their home.
Right.
I get more prayer when I'm in my home. You see what I'm saying? Washing the clothes. And we was talking about that, how they used to put oil in the shoes and stand up in the shoes of the men that they made when they go out for war and they go out in the field. Just like I saw Greg, he was saying, I'm out here Ubering, pray for me and the people out here in these peace. See, when that woman stands in his shoes and pray, not only is he guarded, but he's prosperous in a way that he ain't even got to work for some things.
She cut off just a tad bit. Hopefully she'll get her because she's on a roll. Hopefully she will get it going again.
So those are the things I know that it's nothing wrong with our advancement. It's nothing wrong with the barriers that we have broken through as women, but we can't forget how we've gotten here. And we didn't get here because our mothers and foremothers and great grandmothers were so, they sacrificed education that they could not even receive, that we may get. They worked with their hands and saved their dollars that their children may be able to do greater than what they did. Now it's where we got ours, and if my children, go get it on your own and do the best you can. You see what I'm saying? But it wasn't the fact that they just worked hard while they were scrubbing them clothes. Come on now. They were moaning and they were praying because they were oppressed. But our freedom came through the prayers, through the travail, through the wailing. And I firmly believe, I don't care how it looks, we're still dealing with the same spiritual forces. Spirits don't change. If anything,
no, they don't.
They intensify. You see what I'm saying? They fall together in numbers, and we, Black women, we're scattered trying to do this all alone. There's strength in numbers. So even the slave master, the first goal was to not only break our men, but to divide us as women. Now you talk about that from a historical, I know it, but you can go deeper.
You know, as far as all of that is concerned, I have to go back to the beginning, because I always tell people our history did not begin with slavery. So we actually have to go further back to
Yeah.
when we were, before our nation, our continent
Mhm.
was colonized,
Mhm.
before the Arab slave
Mhm.
trade. You know, before European, there was the Arab slave trade. Many people don't know that.
Mhm.
So that was the beginning
Mhm.
of people trying to take away the power that we
Mhm.
have. That's why
Mhm.
we're doing this woman
Mhm.
and the power that we possess.
Mhm.
So one of the things that we have to realize is that we had a strong prayer life and a strong spiritual life even before
Mhm.
the slave masters, even
Mhm.
before all of that
Yes,
came about.
yes, yes.
And one of the things that we fail to realize is that when we prayed, we had a connection with God. It wasn't out of pride, but we recognized ourselves and the God on the inside of us. So it
Yes.
was a commune like never before.
Yes.
And not only did we pray, but everybody in the community prayed. And when they prayed, they didn't pray for cars, they didn't pray for houses, they prayed for the things that will benefit not only themselves to grow and develop, but their nation as well as their community. So I always want to just start off with, our history did not begin with slavery.
No, it did
Our
not.
prayer life didn't begin with
No, it did not.
slavery. Our the way in which we are did not begin with
No.
slavery. We were endowed with a power that we still have, that we have forgotten
Yes.
because of slavery.
Yes.
Now, when you go back to it, yes, when we came over and our ancestors were enslaved, they actually saw the power, not only of the woman, but the mind of the black man. And so that power and that unity that we had, you know,
Mhm.
I always talk about the moanies and the groanings came during the
I'm
middle
on Facebook.
passage.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh,
No, keep going.
okay.
Go
The
on.
moanings and the groanings came through the middle passage as they was on the
Uh-huh.
bottom of that ship. They had
Yes.
different languages that they spoke, but they had to moan and the groaning and the wail, and they were still in tune with their spirit man. When we came over, one thing you cannot do, you can hurt our bodies,
Mhm.
you can even hurt our
Mhm.
feelings,
Mhm.
but it's our spirit,
Correct.
it's our connectivity to God. I don't care how many lashes or what it took. Our ancestors still had a spiritual connection to the creator.
And that's the key,
And
Michelle. We had a
yes,
spiritual connection. We didn't have
yes,
religion. We didn't have
no,
the
we didn't.
man-made doctrines. We didn't have the man-made rules. We didn't have the traditions. We didn't have the philosophies. We had
Mm-hmm.
a spiritual connection. The God is on the inside of us. We are God in the lower G. But if we get
Yes.
ahead of him, it causes us to be prideful, to think that we are better or greater. And now we have come off the mark. So we have to humble ourselves, particularly as women, that we may give birth and travail for the things to come back into order according to our creation. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. It does. It does. I wanted to say hello to everybody who has chimed in. And also, I have a gentleman, Victor.
Mhm.
Victor, I know there's no J in Hebrew.
Mhm.
I know that we are not free until we wake up. I'm not going to ignore you. We are on this line for us to wake up and for us to become free.
Mhm.
And one of the ways that we're doing this is talking about it and knocking down the religion. We're knocking down all divisiveness. That is the key thing. Religion, all of this knowledge that we have. We have so much knowledge about history and this and that. We're so divided. Instead of coming on and really listening and delving in, I love the fact that you're combating. I love the fact that you're bringing a different perspective. I want you to come live, Victor, next time, and then you can talk about it. As for now, that's a subtle trick of the enemy. And that's why it's important, women, that we pray. Because instead of thinking about what it is that we need to do as women to come together, there's wants to come in and just the unimportant things. D got lost. I don't know where she is. It might be her connectivity. But we actually, one of the things that I want to always do, and Stephanie and Astrid, Anita, I haven't called you Astrid in years, baby. I apologize. Anita, Charlotte, thank you all for coming on. Everybody who is on. One of the things that I want to do every week, we have been on this prayer challenge and we have been talking about prayer, but one of the things I always want to do is I want to start knocking down these barriers, knocking down all of this divisiveness. I want women to come on and just talk as women. We all have issues, we all have our things going on, but we are sisters. And I don't want us to be fake sisters. I want us to be real sisters. But because of all of the things that we've gone through, families and husbands and children and just all type of stuff, careers, we have been allowed to we've just allowed things to divide us. So my purpose, and that's one of the reasons I brought Pastor D on, is because she and I wake up every morning at 4. We pray for our men. We're not sitting here worried about if it's a J in Hebrew or this or that. We out here travailing to ensure that our men and our legacies and our sisters have a better life. And we can do that through prayer. So I am not going to keep you all. I know Pastor D, I can't get her back on. And that was the first thing that I wanted to do, was to have her on. We're on the prayer challenge. I'm going to put the bit.ly on there. It's bit.ly/DW prayer challenge. And then I'm a part of Mighty Christian Women Group. I'm going to put all of that information in. And what we do, we are on a prayer challenge, but women, I do invite you on because it's not about religion. I had my sister on last week. She's Muslim. She's a part of the group. It's about healing for our souls as women. It's about cutting down religion and all divisiveness so that we can truly be free. So in our minds and in our souls and our emotions. So I want to encourage you all to join the prayer challenge if you haven't. It's about us learning the power of prayer, but also learning how to understand the power that's on the inside of us. It's about us developing a sisterhood. Every week I'm going to come on, and Victor, I'm hold you to it now. I'm not playing with you. I'm not scared of nobody, and I know you ain't scared of me. And I want all of the sisters, when I reach out to you, I just want to have a talk with you, because I need all of us to see that we can be sisters, we can pray together, we can talk together, and we can change our families, change ourselves first and foremost, and we honestly can see you next week. All right, talk to you. Bye-bye.